Alright, up next is Winter Warriors, Book 8. This one you could almost not count as being part of the Drenai saga if they didn't already mention the Drenai in there. Before Legend, this is actually the first book that I had ever picked up by Gemmell, and it was one that really turned me on to the series, because I read this about 10 years ago and I probably didn't pick up. I know the next book I picked up after that was Legend, but I don't think I read that until like maybe 2 years after this one. The story in this was pretty simplistic. The events in this book are set 300 years after the events of Legend. And we deal primarily with a lot of the demonic elements within the Drenai saga. A few more will be touched upon in Hero in the Shadows, but this is really the culmination point for the demons as a race in the books. Demons popped up here and there in some books, and they were kind of just treated as soulless creatures. But we actually get to learn quite a bit more, actually, about them. And in fact, this book introduces a whole new race of demons. I mean, like, there are several types broken down, but we're introduced to the demon race as a whole. The demons are called the Il-Hilor, which I can't entirely pronounce that right, but oh well. And there's a whole history dealing with them, like way back, almost a millennium before. The two primary demons in the story, which the evil one is a focal character in the story, and the good one pops in from time to time. Anharat, who is the evil one, and Imsharas, who is the good one. Basically, a story told back then was that there was a great war in between humans and demons long ago, because many of them fell into certain types of places when they came in this world and decided to experience the world of flesh. Some of them fell into like woods and became dryads and fauns who invented wine to enhance human pleasure. And because these creatures usually feed off of human emotions, and different types of them, you had the fauns with the pleasurable emotions. You had some that landed in dark and desolate places, which became vampires. For the demons that landed in the graveyards, they would rise up and drink the blood of sleepers. And then you have one race here in particular that works for Anharat called the Kraken, which live for battle and slaughter. Now, the plot of this book is actually one of the more complicated ones that I've ever read out of Gemmell, next to Hero in the Shadows. The plot basically involves three Drenai soldiers: Nagusta, who is a black man and he's a black guy and he's a swordsman, who was kind of adopted into the Drenai people by Benilion, the general of the army. You have Bison, who is just basically the most debaucherous and completely gutter morale person you meet, but he's loyal to his friends. And you have the bowman Kibra. All three of these guys are what the hope rests on. The basic plot of the story also contains the fact that there is an emperor named Skanda who has a wife named Axiana, and she's pregnant with their first child. Now, the Drenai have been at battle with the Ventrians for quite some time, and they united into one empire. There's not really much details of it, just besides the fact that it happened. And eventually, one fellow whose name I cannot remember right now kills Skanda in order to have the Ventrians take back over the Drenai Empire. And that's a very small matter in the story, too. The big thing is that Anharat is actually tired of humanity, and he's wanting to get the world back to his people, because a lot of the demons of his race cannot survive in sunlight, and quite a few other factors with humans hunting them down and all, and there are very few of them. So what he plans to do is cast a large spell that would open up the portals to like the void and all that stuff and bring his people back into the world and return it to the days of ice and fire when his people were able to walk the earth. Now, in order to do this, he needs to sacrifice 3 kings based upon prophecy: a lion, or an owl, a lion, and a lamb. Now, 2 of these kings have already been sacrificed, and the third one that's needed for this is Queen Axiana's unborn child. And that's where these 3 old men come in to protect the queen against this demonic threat. Now, Anharat has been around for quite some time, and while he's getting everything prepared for the sacrifice, he summons up these Kraken to go out and kill all these men and capture this babe. We get a lot of character development in the story, and you get to see a lot of great battle sequences and actually more monsters in this story than you would read in the first 7 books. Let's see. Nagusta especially is wanted dead by Anharat because he is actually a descendant of Emsharas. Now, Emsharas actually aided the human kings back long ago in casting a spell that would remove all demons from Earth and give his people, or give the human people, the chance to thrive. And Anharat is also wanting for revenge. Now, while at the same time he's doing this, he's actually trying to search out his brother's spirit, but has had no luck in finding him. And what the revelation is to Anharat towards the end of the story of what happened to his brother is extremely important for the outcome. And I actually think this is one of the best concepts that Gemmell had as far as telling the story and building up everything. The novel itself, besides the characters and the battle sequences, is rich in history and actually goes on to answer a lot of questions about what happened to some of the people in the earlier days, because there were all those advanced machines laying around and stuff that could produce jointings and all that. We get some of those questions. They're hinted at in this, but they're not actually answered until Winter Warriors, and not Winter Warriors, but Heroes in the Shadows in some ways. Basically, like I said, this is a good book. There's not much else I can say about it except that it's just a really great read, so go check it out.